Today we're making new friends. We're building a community. And we're still doing all the things we love. We're getting the most out of every day. One day we'll rest, but not today.
Bowling Club in Lower Hutt, where over the next 2 days we will have the Bowls3Five Interclub finals. 10 clubs from around the country vying for 2 places in the Bowls3Five finals on Sky Sport later in the year. We have our 10 clubs in 2 sections. We'll be playing 4 rounds of round robin, so there'll be a bye as well. 4 rounds of action to come today. And first up today, we have 4 matches to start with. In Section 1, Takapuna and Nelson and Royal Oak playing Tairi. Hastings have the first up bye. In Section 2, which we are televising for you first up, it is Auckland up against Timaru and Henuera against the Parajacks. New Plymouth with the bye. Our first game is our live game between Auckland and Timaru. For Auckland, Neville Hill, Bevan Beckham and Maria Smith against Timaru Town and Country's Shona Anderson, Tony Marshall and Sandra Cleland. As we welcome in for the first time, Kevin Hickland, my co-commentator.
Good afternoon, Brendan, and welcome to We're play about to get underway in the first round of the Bowls3Five Interclub finals. And of course we've got the Auckland Bowling Club, the oldest bowling club in New Zealand, up against Timaru. The Auckland Bowling Club formed in 1861, the oldest club in fact in the Southern Hemisphere, and up against the Timaru Town and Country Club, an interesting club formed in 1957 down there in Timaru, and now a membership of around 3,000, which carries itself over 23 various sporting codes and recreations in the Timaru area. So we'll be bringing you bowl by bowl live action of this first round match between that of the Auckland Bowling Club and Timaru Town and Country.
And of course, for those of us, those of you who may not be so familiar with the Bowls3Five formats, played over 2 sets of 5 ends. If it finishes a set apiece, we do go to a tiebreaker end to decide the contest. And as I mentioned, the big prize for the 10 clubs in action here, included amongst them are the Parajacks as well, is a place in the Bowls3Five competition on Sky Sport later in the year. And we have the 2 sides who are relegated, of course, from last year's competition, and Henuera and the Royal Oak Rockets. They're trying to get back in, as are the Parajacks, who are part of Bowls3Five in Season 2. And then we have 7 clubs from around the country who have made it to this final stage. And 2 of them right here, Auckland and Timaru Town and Country. And a special feature for you as well, new to us here on Sky Sport and part of our bowls coverage, is we are able to feature another rink as well. So we're on rink number 8 as our main televised rink, but we do have cameras on rink 6 as well, where Henuera and Parajacks are also playing in Section 2, Round 1. So we'll bring you up to date with their match as well, and also feature a couple of ends of their game as that progresses as well.
So the Auckland side started well on this very first day, in Neville Hill. Very, very proficient player and former New Zealand player. Draw with his first bowl, drew a front toucher, sits right in front of the jack, as you can see clearly there. As we saw the number 2 for the Timaru Town and Country side, Tony Marshall, with his first bowl, just drift by the jack. This particular ring running around about 15 seconds here at this wonderful complex here at Nainai. And I'm sure we're going to see some fantastic bowls over the next 2 days.
Yeah, absolutely. The second coming from Tony Marshall. You'll also notice that we've got the 3 little targets on the rink. So jack is placed by whoever has the jack, and which one they decide, the length. So decide to go with the middle length first up in this first end of 5, first set.
Tony Marshall with his 2 bowls just missed the jack on the way through. It was certainly in a very good zone to get to the jack to sit on top of the Neville Hill bowl. There's Maria Smith encouraging the bowl of Bevan Beckham to draw the way back to the jack. Won't do so. Definitely though, Auckland holding the shot as the skips change over. And we've got 2 lady skips here in this first game, Brendan. We don't see that very often, do we? So Maria Smith, of course, the Auckland skip, and and Sandra Cleland, the Timaru Town and Country skip. And of course, they've won their way through to these finals by playing firstly in their respective centres and then around the regions. And later on in the coverage, we'll just bring you up to date of who these teams have defeated on their way through to make their way through to this, the finals weekend here in Nainai.
Yeah, you'll hear from all the clubs as well. We'll hear from Val McEldowney from New Plymouth, who have the bye in the first round in Section 2. So she'll join us in commentary start of the second set. And we will hear throughout the 2 days of action here at the Nainai Bowling Club all of the clubs that are involved vying for these 2 places in the Bowls3Five competition on Sky Sport later in the year. As Maria Smith, I don't think she likes that, judging by reaction on the mat.
Just looks to be on the wide side, and we'll see now. Sandra Cleland try and force her way through the 2 bowls there to get to that counting bowl, which is the shot bowl of Neville Hills, playing down to reach the shot bowl. Looks to be on a pretty good track. Just depend how the weight and just falls short of the jack, or which is the shot bowl of Neville Hills.
Yeah, I think there was a signal there from Bevan Beckham. Just make sure you don't disrupt the head. Just throw your ball down the rink, please. So they got the shot first on the board. Auckland Bowling Club. It just was the one by the looks of it.
Just the one, I'd say. And of course, the side winning the head determines the length that they want to play. And you'll see that the Auckland Bowling Club have elected to go to the middle circle. So we'd term it as a 3/4 length head. Neville Hill leading, of course, the father of former blackjack.
Looks like it's at further mat, so it's furthest point up though.
Oh, it is the furthest point. There's not one beyond there. I thought there was. My apologies.
The mat is anyway. The jack is in the middle spot, but the mat all the way up. So same length end as we played for the first end of 5 first set. And so that was determined by Timaru. Now Auckland deciding the length they'll play.
So it was Shona Anderson just going to drift by the jack. Good opening bowl on the second end from the Timaru Town and Country lead. Neville Hill stay on his backhand. Of course, Neville, former blackjack in days gone by, and it was his son Jamie, a blackjack, and a very, very good carpet player. As you see, this bowl of Hill's just trying to reach to the shot bowl, just going to drift by just slightly under the head.
He had a good run at the Somerset Nationals earlier this year in both the pairs and the fours with his grandson.
Certainly did.
Liam Hill. So very strong Bowls family.
So Shona Anderson endeavouring to add to the count, but just going to go by, but good, finishing a very good spot directly behind the jack, 1.5 metres in behind. Any movement of the jack, of course, will be in their favour. As we see Bevan Beckham, the Auckland Bowling Club, has a membership, interesting, of around about, I got given the membership, it's not very many now, only an actual playing membership of 20 at the Auckland Bowling Club. But the surprising thing is about it, they have 7,000 people per annum who play social bowls there, business house bowls, because where the Auckland Club is located, just down from Auckland Hospital, it's Auckland City Hospital, right next to the Sandy Street tennis courts, in a very central part of Auckland, not far from the university. So it's very, very much it's an event place to go to, is the Auckland Bowling Club. It's set in a park-like surroundings, and 7,000 per annum goes through the bowling club, playing at the Auckland Bowling Club, with only 20 active members. As you see, Beckham now endeavouring to reach up to the shot bowl or jack. Looks as though it's just going to go by. The jack was only a centimetre away, getting to the shot bowl.
Makes it even more remarkable then that they came through the Auckland Centre with just 20 playing members to get through then, and then get through the regional qualifying to make it through to the Bowls3Five Interclub finals as one of the 7 qualifying clubs, joining those who are relegated, and Henueta and Royal Oak from last season, and also the Parajacks.
Tony Marshall may well add to the count here, gets applause from the skipper as the change over, and looks like a couple. And of course, as we know, Brendan, from the Bowls3Five, that because of the quick only the 5 ends, you certainly can't get yourself in a position where you're going to be dropping 3s or 4s, because unless you catch those shots up by using the power play.
That's another feature, of course, of Bowls3Five.
It's a feature which will come in. Big numbers are a no-no in this particular 5-end format, because the game can the set can very quickly get away from you.
Yeah, that's the one good thing is though, is that you can forget about that first set if you drop.
Absolutely.
If you do lose it convincingly, it doesn't really matter. If you win the second set, then you can force that tiebreaker in to win the match.
So Maria Smith playing with more draw weight, but it's going to be well under the head and short of weight with her first bowl. Of course, you've only got 2 bowls, so Timaru holding the shot. Sandra Cleland will be endeavouring to add to the count. Definitely holding 1, maybe 2. Certainly got good weight. Breaks towards the head now. If it sits on the bowl, moved the jack, didn't really want that. And I think still holding the 2 shots. 1 down.
Yeah, 1 down, says Bones. Neville Hill for the Auckland Bowling Club. So Timaru Town and Country holding shot after that last bowl from Sandra Cleland, but I think she may have been holding 1, maybe 2 before that.
The movement of the jack wasn't favourable. This is a good adjustment from Maria Smith. They're going to get back all the way to the jack. No, it's not. It's certainly now moved their own bowl out.
Which was the second. So now it looks like you'd think they'd be holding a couple here. Yes, indicated there by Tony Marshall of Timaru to his skip, Sandra Cleland. So she has a chance to make it 3, potentially even more if she can.
Or draws to the charcoal bowl,
the
turns
bowl
it over
just
once.
Moved by Maria Smith.
Could well make 4 of it. Don't know if that's got the weight though as it goes past us, Brendan.
Yeah, it's not going to change the situation, but it is 2. So Timaru on the board and take the lead after 2 ends of 5. First set, it's Timaru Town and Country leading Auckland Bowling Club 2-1 in our feature game here to open the Bowls3Five Interclub finals. This is Section 2. Also happening in Section 2, just a couple of rinks away, it's Henueta Bowling Club, the Heat, taking on the Parajacks. And it is Henueta after 2 ends of 5 first set who are leading the Parajacks 2-1.
So good opening bowl from Shona Anderson. The lead for Timaru Town and Country just comes up lower the jack, but only about 18 to 20 inches from the jack. Neville Hill. Of course, Neville played all around the country, and he won't be happy with that bowl. That was very, very narrow, and you certainly pay the price on the carpet if you don't take your green. The bowl will very quickly disappear under the head. So now, Shona Anderson. It's great to see, Brendan, a number of these, let's say, from the smaller regions represented here, with the likes of Hastings, in Nelson, the Timaru from Dunedin, the Hinuera, of course, and the Plymouth Bowling Club, and Timaru. Great to see the smaller regions, as we call them, being represented at this New Zealand final, and of course they've all got people here supporting them as well, who have made the trip here to Nainai to support them throughout the weekend, hoping that they can get through that semi-final stage tomorrow morning. So two good opening bowls from Shona Anderson on this, the third end, with Timaru Town and Country leading by 2 shots to 1. And remembering, as Brenton said, they're only 5-end sets, and of course if the set is drawn, it's a drawn set then, so there's no extra ends or anything like that. If it's a drawn set, it's a drawn set.
Yeah, that makes it, unless we have another drawn set, it won't be going to a tiebreaker end then. It could make the second set winner takes all.
And Tony Marshall is short by a metre, so Bevan Beckham trying to make adjustment. On the back end with the blue bowls, trying to get down to the counting bowls of the Timaru, trying to get to the jack on the way through. He's just going to go by.
Sandra Cleland getting a good look at that bowl to see how that changed the head. Simple instructions though for Tony Marshall. Playing on the forehand, the Timaru number 2.
He's to rest, he's on the wide side, but if it goes behind the head, they won't be too unhappy about that, and that's a good home where that bowl is, the blue bowl's finished just on that outer ring, so any movement of the jack now on that backhand side, the Timaru Town and Country side have got a catching bowl in there, and Beckham's going to be well under the head with this bowl.
Yeah, he was talking to his bowlers, he walked off the mat, stepped off the mat, knew it wasn't on the right line, unhappy with himself. He had the perfect weight, as you can see there, pretty much finishes jack level, but well under the line. Not enough green given.
I know it's only early days in this particular game, this particular set, Brendan, but what's happened very quickly here, we can see Auckland have literally had 3 of the 4 bowls have really been ineffective bowls to the head because they've all been under the line, under that centre line, so they've drifted away from the head. So straight away it reduces the scoring chances or numbers for Auckland, and Timaru Town and Country sit in a good position on this, in 3 of 5 in this first set.
Yeah, looks like they're holding a couple as well, as Sandra Cleland now on the mat. Skip for Timaru Town and Country.
And that looks as though comes down towards the jack now, sits jack level. It's a touch on the jack. That would more than likely count that bowl.
I don't know if that was exactly what she was after.
I'm not sure that's a shot that she was really going for.
But it's worked out pretty handy for Sandra Cleland. She'll take that.
Maria Smith will try and follow that backhand line down just to try and get inside that counting bowl, rest on something, reduce the count, or get a touch on the jacks. On a reasonably good line, this bowler Smith may well sit on that counting bowl, and does. And that's... And I just heard then, it's the shot bowl.
Yeah, that was the problem, wasn't it, from that previous bowl of Cleland's, that it gave an option for Smith to sit on that, a target to aim for. And to her credit, she did it expertly, Maria Smith. Now Sandra Cleland having to respond with her second and final bowl of this third end.
It's going to have the weight to get all the way down to the counting area. No, it won't. Maria Smith, very well performed player in Auckland, and Neville Hill, you'll see there indicating that they're holding the shot, and winner of a number of centre titles in Auckland, and always a good performer in Auckland centre events, and she may well have been 3 down there, Brenda, when she played that first bowl on the draw. So it was a very, very good recovery from the Auckland Bowling Club skip, as Neville Hill goes to get the mat, so that confirms it is 1 to Auckland.
So we're all tied up now, 2 apiece between Auckland Bowling Club and Timaru Town and Country after 3 of the 5 ends. First set. Neville Hill, Bones, back in charge of the mat. Put it back up to that furthest point up the green. So of the 3 places you can place it, the shortest, but the jack has been placed all the way back, 2 metres from the ditch.
And certainly on the carpet, changing that line around it is a challenge for the players. You know, you've got to, you know, that's where the experience comes in. We see the first bowler, Neville Hill's on a very, very good line to the jack. About going to fall a metre short. And the Hill family, son Jamie, very, very good carpet player. And in fact, in 2006, won all the way through to the semi-final of the World Indoor Championships in the UK. And is just this year made a comeback on the PBA carpet scene and won the qualifier 2 weeks ago in Auckland. The Scottish singles was the winner of that over Rob Ashton of Wellington. So Jamie Hill, the Hill family, very proficient players on the carpet, well, on all surfaces. See Neville Hill quickly indicate that he doesn't really like that, but looks to have far better weight, and how far is it going to draw back towards the jack? Well, it's literally jack levels, so that's the counting. It's a shot at present, sitting outside the ring. There's still plenty of room to draw. Indication there from the skip, Sandra Cleland. It may be a measure, but there's certainly a lot of room there, Brendan, still to draw the shot.
Yeah, the calibre of these players, expect them to draw inside those opening 3 bowls. As Shona Anderson will look to do just that, but it's going to be a touch on the wide side. So you'd think, just looking from our viewpoint, that second bowl of Neville Hills will be holding shot.
Jack level bowl would certainly looks to be the favoured bowl, as we see the Bevan Beckham on his backhand, and that's coming under that centre line. Depends, you won't want to move the jack on the way through because there's the two bowls, the Timaru Town and Country bowls, was sitting there. But Maria Smith won't be unhappy where that bowl's actually finished. Any movement of the jack now, Auckland have got a bowl there. Should the jack move?
Yeah, it cuts down that option now for Tony Marshall to play with his first bowl of this 4th end. 2 apiece the score between Auckland and Timaru.
This bowler, Tony Marshall, looks to have a bit of speed on it, doesn't want to move anything, goes right in behind the head, sits right under the number, that number 8. So here's a chance for Bevan Beckham to change over, at least holding 2 for the Auckland side. And then, of course, this is the second to last end, so this is an important end. Can make a big difference to the score. Going into that last end, Maria Smith indicating, well, the indication came from the Timaru Town and Country skip, 2 down.
Certainly looks to be the case. Auckland holding a couple on this 4th end of 5. 2-2 the score between Auckland and Timaru.
Tony Marshall with his second bowl on this, the 4th end. It's going to come up under the head. Hasn't got the weight to even get to second shot. He'll be disappointed with that. So, you know, the aim here really, Brenton, for the Timaru Town and Country skip for Sandra Cleveland is make the circle the jack, because if you're able to draw to the circle as the head sits now, you can have the shot. So really forget about where
simplified, isn't it?
Yeah, just forget about where the jack is. The circle's the jack now. So draw to the circle and you're going to have shot.
And if you're just trying to draw the circle, you'd back these players to pretty much do it every time.
You would think so, because it gives them a metre all right around. So Maria Smith, and I don't know that's got the weight as it goes past us in the commentary position, and certainly hasn't got the weight.
Knew it wasn't right straight away. Disappointed with herself there, Maria Smith. Finishes well short, finishes right inside of one of the other circles, but the wrong circle,
the wrong
middle circle, not the deepest one.
Sandra Cleland, we can get some idea as the bowls go past us here in the commentary position, how their weight looks. And this looks to be on a pretty good line. This bowl of Cleland's, how far is it going to run? This will be the shot for sure. As we said, Brendan, draw to the circle and
Beautiful
you'll get
bowl.
the shot.
Wonderful bowl from Sandra Cleland. Down 2 on the head and comes up with pretty much a touch as good as, really.
Neville Hill indicating to Maria Smith, play with some weight, reach the bowl. A wee bit difficult because the bowl is slightly jack low, which makes it just a wee bit more difficult to play that weight pressing shot on a good line. How far is it going to come back? Not far enough. So there's been a big turnaround there, really, for the Timaru Town and Country side. 2 down, as Brendan said. Sandra Cleland drew the shot, got a chance here to make 2, and then go into that last end.
Yeah, just try and repeat her previous bowl. Doesn't have to even be as good. Another one in those circles, the target area around the jack. Can make it 2.
Needs to get past this front blue bowl, and if it doesn't count, it won't do.
Hasn't got the weight, so it's just going to be 1. But given they were 2 down on the head, they'll certainly take that. And it's now Timaru leading Auckland 3-2. 3-2 after 4 of 5 ends. First set and the opening round of Section 2 of the Bowls3Five Interclub finals here on Sky Sport. And the other game in Section 2 between the Hinueta Heats and the Parajacks. 4 ends completed. They're currently playing their 5th and final end. And it's the Parajacks leading 4-2. The Parajacks, familiar figures from Season 2 of Bowls3Five on Sky Sport. And of course, Hinueta have been involved for the last couple of seasons before getting relegated last year, looking to play their way back into Bowls3Five on Sky.
So Neville Hill, the first bowl we saw of Shona Anderson's and Neville Hill's leaving a good couple of metres to draw the shot. And at this particular event as well, Brendan, with having the likes of Joe Edwards here, Richard Collett, Debbie White, we've got some of the country's leading players who, and we know the record, for example, that Joe Edwards has got on carpet. So we're in for a really good weekend. As we come towards the latter stages, we're going to see some real top-line action, no doubt about that. Val McEldowney, who'll be with me shortly, of course, won the New Zealand singles in 2013, so another very, very good player. Neville Hill trying to get to the shot here because this is the big shot in, and he's going to draw a front toucher and sits right alongside the jack. Does Neville Hill see that right on the circle there? So, of course, the big thing now for Tony Marshall, he needs to make sure that he at least gets a good second shot to give Sandra Cleland a chance to attack or to save the head, because they're in danger here early on in this head, leading by 3 shots to 2. And this bolt of Tony Marshall's is going to drift by, but will be second shot.
Yeah, after the first 3 from the leads were short. Great final bowl from Neville Hill. And putting the pressure on Timaru, just with that 1 shot advantage. 5th and final end, first set.
Well, it's definitely only the one.
For Bevan Beckham there as he promotes that bowl of Tony Marshall now into the little target circles.
Of course, the other thing is, Brent, in that sets also become important. And when it comes down to the back end of this, finally the semi-finalists, because sets will be counted. You get teams that are tied on points, then of course sets 1 come into the equation. So winning the sets become very, very important in the whole mix, getting to the semi-final stage.
Yeah, of course, 2 sections of 5. The top 2, after they play each other once each, will be taking place in the semi-finals. Of course, you're halfway there then to getting a place on Bowls3Five on Sky Sport, because the finalists will both qualify and join the current 6 sides we have on Bowls3Five already. So, a big prize up for grabs.
So I can't quite see there where Sandra Cleland, with the shots that Tony Marshall played, trying to get the shot on the hand that he played, very difficult down there. You'd think it'd be far better, Brenda, to try reach down. It would have been better to try and reach down to try and disturb it with his first bowl. On the other hand, to open it up a wee bit, because you're just wasting bowls trying to play under the head to get to targets, because you've got to be so exact. See the bowl there, Neville Hill's sitting right on right on the side of the yellow jack. So we're seeing Sandra Cleland changing her hand to try and reach the bowl, which to me seems a better percentage option. Trying to rest through the Neville Hill bowl, which is shot. This is on a pretty good line. This is just going to drift by and will sit just outside the... It's a good second shot bowl, though. Very good second shot. And, of course, holding one at this point in time is Auckland, which leaves us with a drawn set, should it remain the same. Unless Maria Smith with her 2 bowls can add. And this looks to be, needs to get past these front bowls, not going to do so. So here's the chance now for Sandra Cleland to give it a yard of weight down through there. Brendan could make contact on the Neville Hill bowl. But certainly only one down at this point. Doesn't like it. And no, that's well under the head.
Yeah, knew straight away out of the hand. Wasn't on the right line. Yeah, not going to be on the enough weight either to reach the head. So
chance here for Maria Smith to win the set.
Yeah. Given Maria Smith an opening, here's Sandra Cleland here. They hold 1, Auckland. Can she turn it into 2?
Not going to do so.
That's not going to change the situation. So it'll be a drawn first set, 3 apiece between Auckland and Timaru. A bit of a chat between themselves. I'm not too sure what that was about. Neville Hill, Bevan Beckham and Shona Anderson and Tony Marshall.
Yeah, well, it's you could say you haven't lost the set, but it just now, of course, whoever wins this set is the winner of this first round match between the Auckland Bowling Club, the side of Neville Hill, Bevan Beckham and Maria Smith, up against the Timaru Town and Country side of Shona Anderson, Tony Marshall and Sandra Cleland. And they'll play, and of course the power play, I presume they'll indicate when the power play is going to be used. Because remember that they have got the use of the power play here in the second set. And with the power play, of course, it doubles whatever you score. Doubles. If you score 2 shots, it becomes 4. And no doubt it'll be indicated on the scoreboard when the power play is going. So Tamara just confirmed to me that we will know when the power play is being called for on these 5N sets. As we see this first bowl here is Shona Anderson's breaking towards the head. It's going to pull up short too. Yeah. So plenty of room here for Neville Hill to draw another. His first bowl, of course, went in behind the head by a good metre, trying to make amends. This is going to slide under the head. Will finish just lower the jack. Certainly the shot. So now Shona Anderson, the lead for Timaru Town and Country, will endeavour to improve on her first bowl. Remembering that first set drawn 3 apiece. So just drifting by, and shortly I'll have with me Val McEldarney of the New Plymouth side, winner of the New Zealand singles, of course, and she won the New Zealand singles over Irene Stratford 21-13. In fact, was down 17-9 in that New Zealand final and got up to win 21-17. So welcome, Val. Good to have you here.
Pleased to be here, Kevin, I'm sure.
So you're looking forward to the weekends, you know, the whole thing. Well, it's a big thrill for the club to get their way through to the final.
Oh, certainly is. It was quite an effort to get here, but you never know what's going to happen in bowls.
No, you don't. So what's as I see, Marshall, the number 2 for Timaru Town and Country, just moved the jack, just moved it off the Auckland bowl. Definitely Timaru holding the shot. So how many members now, Val, did New Plymouth Club approximately have in your club now? What's the membership in New Plymouth Club?
Oh, we've dropped a number. We're probably sitting around 65 now,
so
70.
So there's West End, Paratutu, they're still the 3 major clubs. They'll be the 3 bigger.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, just recently announced about 10 days ago that New Plymouth is going to be, or Taranaki, but New Plymouth is going to be the host for the national fours and mixed pairs, which last year or this year we had in Central Otago. So that's good for the region to get the nationals coming back to Taranaki, Val.
Yes, it certainly is. I think they probably like our lovely greens that we have in the Taranaki. They're excellent to play on, so I think that's a plus for the bowlers.
Well, it certainly is. The greens in Taranaki are first class, along with the catering, by the way, as well.
Very much so.
And, of course, Taranaki well known for the host of the Taranaki Open Fours in mid-January every year. I think that's now been going for 109 years, I think it is. And, of course, following on from that is the Taranaki Women's Open Fours, which follows straight afterwards. And now added into the calendar will be the fours and mixed pairs. So hopefully we'll get good support from the Naki from in both events, Val.
Hopefully so, yes. I'm sure there will be good numbers attend if they're not needed in the kitchen.
So the Bowls3Five, Val, is that taken off now? A lot of the clubs in Taranaki, you have a local playoff, don't you? Have a centre playoff for it, don't you?
Yes, we did, but it wasn't a huge competition, I don't think, for the numbers of bowlers that we've got in Taranaki. But I think with us having achieved this, it might give bowlers up there a bit more incentive to have a go. It was an awkward season because we originally were going to play in November where the weather wasn't great, so it became a bit of a drawn-out affair, which some weren't entirely happy with the way it panned out. But I think next year they're looking at running it a different format, and I think that will be better for the numbers, playing at club level first and finding a winner of each club and then going on.
Yeah, I know.
I think that'll be popular.
Yeah, because I do know in some centres that it has been quite drawn out to get to a final sort of thing. So it'd be better if we could just get it over a bit quicker, so to speak, and
yes,
just allocate the time for it. But certainly we know with the numbers playing now around the country, and of course with this being televised and this event being televised, it certainly, as we see, a real Neville Hill turned away because Maria Smith was way off target then. You see that ball on the way through, Val, did you?
I saw the end result.
Yeah, and ricocheted across the head and dislodged the Timaru Town and Country bowl that was shot on the first end of the second set in round 1, after the first set, of course, was drawn 3-all. So do you like the quick format? Is that you
I do, yes, but you can't be a slow starter, that's for sure. I've struggled here in practice this morning because it's quite heavy to what we're used to playing up our way. But
well, it's interesting you say that because I was also talking to Richard Collett earlier on, and he remarked as well that, and his viewpoint was that as we move further out the pace of the green, as we get right out towards the where the natural surface greens are, that it's quite slow out there. It's about 13-14 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a comment that he passed to me this morning. The TV rink was a wee bit quicker,
okay.
but he confirmed exactly what you said, that it is sluggish.
Yes, well, it was very cold as well, so that probably doesn't help for the run.
No, for those who don't know, of course, the Nine indoor complex here, a lot of glass surrounds it. It's glass on 3 sides, and it can, I can assure you as well, I've commentated here when the Bowls Premier League was on, and in the middle of the day when the sun's pouring through here, it's like a sauna in here.
Okay.
But in the mornings it can actually be like the South Pole as well, and of course that straight away affects the speed of the green as well. And it was 2 in fact to Auckland on this, the second end of the second set here. So your team, you played right throughout. You had eliminations. You played. Who did you beat on the way through to get here after you won the Taranaki one, and then you played other centres after that?
Yes, first up we played Wanganui, but because we had to play it midweek and our men are workers, Wanganui kindly came up and we played that at the stadium at Paratutu.
All right.
My memory is not great, Kevin, I'd have to say. Once I come off the green, it all leaves me. But I think did we not score a point against them the first set? Were we down 8-0 the first set against Wanganui? I can't remember.
I know that you beat. Yeah, you had to have two.
No, that was Johnsonville.
You had to have 2 games to get through to get to here, or 2 round robins, didn't you? So as you see now, on this the second bowl of the Shona Anderson's, the pink bowl. That's the shot. So they dropped a 2 on the very first end, and of course you got the use of the power play in this as well, haven't you?
Yes.
And you got any thoughts when's the best time to use it?
Well,
don't tell us any team secrets.
No. Well, at home I thought Kelly he chose very well when we played our power play. So I said to him before that you did it very well up to this stage. So you just keep on deciding when you feel it's right.
Because it certainly it can change a game, can't it?
Oh, definitely. Yes. Sometimes you elect a power play and then you try too hard to score on that end and you don't do yourself any favours.
Yeah, that's a valid point actually. Ideally you want to, if you haven't got the shot, you want to set yourself up when you change over. At least the skip's got the chance to move bowls around to score rather than trying to get the shot, so to speak, with every bowl, because sometimes that just doesn't work out, does it?
That's right, yes, but it's nice to be here and it's certainly a beautiful complex that they've got here. And I'm sure they'll get their something done with the heating one day.
Well, it's been talked about since the opening, but it is a great complex as we see this Timaru Town and Country trying to get the inside of the bowl. They've got 2 shots now. That bowl there of Tony Marshall's set inside. You're sitting outside the ring there as the skips change over. Certainly 1 shot for sure after seeing on the first end Maria Smith get a bit of a, let's say, a fortuitous slide off an outside bowl that came in, made shot of it. And of course the 5 ends, as you rightly said, Val, you can't be slow starting and you can't drop big numbers, can you?
Correct, yes. It's vital.
Yeah, so it's a 1 or 2 shot game really, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So besides scoring, you've got to be able to defend as well, so as someone can't pick up by moving the jack, pick up a 4 or a 5, and we know with some of the players here, they've certainly got the capability of playing those big bowls, haven't they? So you've got to make sure, you've got to get bowls around the head, don't you?
And cover the back, and got to think of every angle.
You do, really. And I remarked to Brenton before, actually early on in this game, the first 3 bowls from the New Plymouth, from the Auckland side, each one of them was right under the head. And the minute you start doing that, you just got ineffective bowls, haven't you? You just can't,
But I found in practice that you couldn't take too much. I didn't feel I was taking too much green, but I felt if you had a bit of width, they didn't want to.
They just hang out a wee bit on the lazy side.
Yes, they are a wee bit. Yeah, so
you've got to get it
find
right.
Find that medium.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure with all your experience, Val, you can Val do that, can't you? And of course, Val comes from the Makodauni name, very synonymous with bowls, with sport, in fact, in Taranaki. As we watch this bowl of Clayton's, great line, but short now. Neville Hill asking Maria Smith to try and attack down there to the jack, get movement to the jack to the back bowls, which certainly Auckland have got. And Smith making her way out to go and find a bowl, I think. So Maria Smith, the Auckland player, on the mat. He'll endeavour to play with weight on the backhand, trying to get down to the jack. I heard mutterings from her when she let it go, because that's well under the head. Not going to get luck again. She is. Neville Hill shakes his head. That was very, very much off target, that particular bowl, really, Val, wasn't it?
Well, bowls is a game of luck, and if the luck's going your way, well, you grab it.
Well, that's 2 ends in a row where it's certainly gone the way of Auckland. We'll indicate, you'll see in a moment. I still thought it was Timaru Town and Country holding the shot, as we see Sandra Cleland now endeavouring to get to the counting area, but that's going to come under. It depends how far it runs from there. That'll be the shot. Getting applause, and Neville Hill draws right to the jack, definitely the one. They'll certainly be looking for a second. Out comes the measure. It was already been conceded. Definitely one. I think Timaru Town and Country are quite confident, I think, but the measure will determine. So it's great that we're able to bring the coverage of this right throughout the whole weekend, fellas. It's great, you know, it's good now. You can sit at home and you can watch bowls if you wish. At this event, for example, you can watch it right throughout. So the coverage now is great.
It is wonderful, yes. Yes, it makes a pleasant change from rugby too.
Yeah, well, you say that quietly in Taranaki.
Well, we've been watching all the games, so this is good.
So we see now that was, just wait for the score to go up. I'm sure it was 2, but we've seen now Shona Anderson has brought the mat up quite a distance. And remembering that first set was tied up. So thank you, Val, for being with us, and all the best to you and the rest of the New Plymouth team for the duration of the event, and no doubt we'll catch up with you throughout the weekend.
Thank you, Kevin. I hope our bowls goes better than my commentary.
You're fine.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Val. Much appreciated.
So Neville Hill, he draws right to the jack on this, the third end of 5 after Shona Anderson's bowl fell short. Neville Hill, you can see there the yellow jack and the bowl of Hills just sitting right in front of the jack. Imperative now that it's interesting, Ben, we're at end 3 of the second set, and I thought we might have seen a power play called here, so elected not to.
Yeah, interesting. Unless we saw it in the first end for Auckland, because I thought they were only holding a 1 and scored 2. But interesting. Well, we will see if there are power plays called. Yeah. Obviously, these are teams who haven't been on the televised league before, so they're not used to having to play a card or make a signal or anything like that. They just tell each other, obviously.
Yeah, I just thought it would have been used. Neville Hill, 2 magnificent bowls right in front of the jack on this, the third end, and of course Tony Marshall now's got to reach up with weight. Timaru Town and Country have got the advantage of that bowl right back towards the ditch, but certainly got to play with weight to make contact with the Hill bowls, but that's going to just drift outside, get your touch, moves it. In fact, more than likely makes it harder to get to Brenton now, because they were sitting right next to one another. It makes it, that shot now with it being jack low, just makes it harder.
The other game in this section, section 2, opening round between Henueta Heat and the Parajacks. They're well advanced in their second set. Will no doubt finish before our game we're bringing to you here between Auckland and Timaru. Parajacks won the first set 4-3, and they well, it end's just about to be completed. End 3 is about to be completed. We'll see what the change of score is. I know Henuera just called their power play, and they didn't score on the power play, so the Parajacks leading 6-2 in the second set after taking the first 4-3. And just 2 ends to play there, so the Parajacks looking very good to claim that.
Great
victory.
bowl there from Tony Marshall. In fact, was 3 down, and Drew's second shot sitting alongside the jack.
And you just heard from Val McEldowney as well from New Plymouth, who have the bye in this section. Next up, round 2. After 2 o'clock, they'll be taking on Auckland Bowling Club, who of course we're featuring here in the other game. And that section 2, between Timaru, they'll play the Parajacks next, and Henueta will have the bye. 2 sections of 5 teams. They'll each play each other once over today and first thing tomorrow to find our semi-finalists, and then of course the final to follow early tomorrow afternoon. All here on Sky Sport. Hope you are enjoying our coverage wherever you may be.
So 2-2 on the third end after, of course, the first set here was all tied at 3 apiece after the 5 completed ends, and now 2 apiece after 2 of the 5 ends. And as we change over, it is Auckland that are definitely holding the shot. And I just wonder, Brendan, whether there's an opportunity. You'll see the line of 3 bowls there. The second bowl in is the second shot bowl of Tony Marshall's. And I think it's imperative here for Sandra Cleland. She gets another bowl on the head, because there is the opportunity here for Maria Smith to play a weighted shot and turn this into a number for Auckland, if she can dislodge that jack level second shot bowl of Tony Marshall's. So here is the Sandra Cleland, the skip for Timaru Town and Country, endeavouring to on the draw to get another bowl on the head. It's on a good line. Just question, is the weight going to get all the way? This is a good attempt. He's not going to get all the way. As you'll see, the Auckland 3 are all still standing there looking over the head, and can see that there is that opportunity. Here, Neville Hill, you can see indicating play with a yard of weight, playing through that port, trying to get to that bowl of Marshall's, and a metre of weight through the head, and that could convert to 4 shots.
Yeah, big opportunity this.
Because there's Val McEldowney we were talking about. You don't, with only 5 ends, 1, you can't start slowly, 2, you can't drop big numbers, and when the chances are there, you've got to be able to convert, because it can just turn the whole game on its head within 1 bowl, 1 end.
She's had a bit of fortune in this set, it's fair to say.
It certainly has, those first 2 ends.
See, fortune continues here on this third end, second set, all level 2 apiece after the first set was a draw.
This is close, coming down towards the Marshall bowl now, gets it clean and out, and does. That superb bowl from Maria Smith.
Well, that wasn't luck, that was brilliant.
That was well played, that bowl. We just can turn it into 3, I'm not sure, definitely 2. Yeah, 4. Sandra Cleland, she's got to play with a lot of weight. They've got the advantage. You can see there's a pink bowl right down towards the ditch. That is the bowl of Shona Anderson, and that's weight that's got to be played to try and get the jack to move down towards that deep on the rink. Now, bowl of Maria Smith, certainly a well played bowl. I don't know whether this bowl of Timaru of Sandra Cleland is going to have the weight to do the damage that we were talking about. Great attempt here. What a wonderful attempt, trying to get a sit right on top of the bowls.
Yeah, you're right, didn't have the weight to dislodge them, but
taking the 2.
Absolutely perfect line, and now take the 2 shots there. So Maria Smith's bowl makes its way down the other end, but she wasn't aiming to change the situation on the head. So it's 2 to Auckland Bowling Club.
I just wonder whether the applause that was met with, whether from the Auckland players, whether that was in fact it was the power play.
Yeah, it was their power play. So 2 doubled to 4, and now the power play has been called just straight after that by Sandra Cleland of Timaru Town and Country. So previous end was the power play from Auckland, so they now lead 6-2. 6-2 after 3 ends of the second set.
Because I just wondered that, because the sort of delight shown by Neville Hill and Bevan Beckham was a wee bit more demonstrative than what it does. I just thought that may have been. That was a superb bowl that was played by Maria Smith, dislodging that second shot bowl and turned it into a counting position for them. And a very good attempt from Sandra Cleland, just lacking a yard of weight to get the ultimate result for Timaru Town and Country. But of course now, it's imperative now. Short opening bowl from Shona Anderson. It's imperative that, well, they've got to score ideally a 2 to put themselves in a position to win the second set, and then of course in this case we would go to an automatic, well, both sets tied. That would be the case.
Yeah, which would be quite remarkable. I don't know if I've seen that before. The time commentating Bowls3Five on Sky Sport. 2 drawn sets, which would take us to a tiebreaker.
Shona Anderson is better there over the head. You'll see it there just sitting outside the ring, but it's over the head, which gives them the Timaru Town and Country side a chance to play down to the jack.
The Parajacks are very much on course to post an opening round win over Henueta, leading 8-2 now in the second set after winning the first 4-3. One end to play in that match.
You'll see here, Brendan, now how difficult that bowl there of Bevan Beckham's has caused the Timaru Town and Country side to get it in a good position on the head, because it's 1.5 meters short, but it's in that immediate draw line down to the jack. And so 3 short bowls there, just, well, not all Timaru's bowls, but the way the heads started, and with Neville Hill drawing the shot just lower the jack, just makes it challenging for the Timaru Town and Country side on their power play. Of course, knowing that they've got to score on this power play after the power play worked in the favour of Auckland when they called their power play. As we watch this bowl of Marshall's just slide by the head. Of course, you won't be able to see the shot bowl clearly from the mat as well, Brendan, to be able to play with weight to try and dislodge the shot bowl. So it's really about trying to get jack movement to score rather than dislodging a bowl. As we see the bowl of Bevan Beckham's going to go slide away under the head. And there's a good chance here, if they are able to touch the jack, they can turn this into 2 or 3, could Timaru Town and Country on this power play.
And that will be the aim, especially 3, because then they win the set and they win the match.
Well, this bowler, Tony Marshall's looking very careful, runs into the front bowls, just makes that job that much harder now.
Just narrow, wasn't it? Just needed to come around them and look to have decent weight to maybe threaten the jack.
Now, of course, Sandra Cleland having a look to see whether he can get to the shot bowl. On the other hand, very fine line. You have to play in between the pink and the charcoal bowl. That bowl is Shona Anderson's out in front of the head. You have to play under that with weight to try and dislodge the Neville Hill bowl. And of course, the objective here for Maria Smith is to play to the outside of the ring. And that makes it then a very difficult proposition for Timaru Town and Country to save the day. Maria Smith trying to get down to that area that we spoke about. It looks as though that's going to be well short, and it certainly is. That's a long way short. So we'll see how Sandra Cleland sees that she can get to that shot bowl. And as we thought, Brendan is trying to get to that bowl on the forehand with weight, trying to reach through it. But that's narrow and under the line.
Under the line, unfortunately. And run into that previous bowl of Maria Smith. So
it's the old classic case, Brendan, of trying to steer the bowl towards the target. Now the target here is the pink bowl of Shona Anderson's out there to play to that bowl with that yard of weight. Otherwise, you're just not going to hold up. You're going to just disappear under the head, as we just saw. So this is a big. This is really the bowl that determines the game. Really determines the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think something special here. Does Sandra Cleland, skip of Timaru Town and Country. Auckland Bowling Club leading 6-2 in the second set. They hold shot as well.
Well, it's on that line that we were talking about, Brendan. We're just going to be fractionally wide of it. It was certainly the right shot, the right weight.
Right weight was perfect. Just needed to come inside that pink bowl. It didn't. So now with an end to play, Auckland Bowling Club well in command, and Timaru is going to have to come up with something very special here. 7-2 lead, one end to play, second set. So Timaru need to score with 5 of their 6 bowls to force a tiebreaker end. They score with all 6, then of course they win the second set and win the match. But
Neville Hill's certainly making that job difficult, and with that first bowl where he's just drawn and just inside the inner ring there, you can see it sitting alongside the yellow jack, so it's sitting jack level, only but a few inches away. And as Brendan said, they need at least 5 of the 6 bowls to count for them to do Timaru Town and Country in this round 1 match. And there's a good attempt here from Shona Anderson, trying to get to the shot bowl of Jack, and just falls outside the circle. Great attempt.
And the scoreboard there showing as well, just not really showing how tight this contest has been. There's only been 2s and singles scored on ends, nothing more than that. And it shows the importance of capitalising on your power play and playing against the power play.
Oh, defending the power plays.
That's the difference in the game.
It is.
So Auckland scored a 4 on their power play. They scored 2, doubled to 4, and they scored on the Timaru power play and scoring a single, and that's the difference between the 2 sides.
What's interesting, in the first set, it was Timaru Town and Country that's got a 2. They got a 2 in this one as well. A 2 in this first set, first end to Auckland. Other than that, it's all been 1s. But as you rightly say, Brendan, they took advantage of that power play and turned it into a big change. And another good bowl from Shona Anderson. Changed the hand, sitting jack level. So now the objective for Tony Marshall, he plays his bowl, needs to reach up there to try and dislodge the pink bowl. Bevan Beckham will endeavouring to get another bowl in on the head for Auckland. He won't get the Neville Hill bowl, just goes by. And Auckland will be quite happy with that. They're sitting in behind the head. So we've got a full, was it 3 rounds today?
Yeah, 4 rounds today.
4 rounds
so
today.
Another 3 rounds to follow this one. We'll have our 5th and final round tomorrow morning, and then we'll know our semi-finalists to play late tomorrow morning, and then the final. And of course, the finalists will have won the prize they're really after, and they'll just be playing for the extra honour of the Bowls3Five Interclub champion. The accolades that come with that, but making the final means that you have qualified for Bowls3Five on Sky Sport, and that's what the 10 sides that are playing here at the 99 Bowling Club in Lower Hutt are seeking entry to join the 6 sides who have already got their place. Stoke Valley, of course, champions from last year. Elmwood Park, Stoke Thunder.
Great attempt here from the Timaru Town and Country player. Tony Marshall got a touch on the jack. He's made 2 of it.
And Gore Rams, the Point Chevalier Pirates join those sides and Bowls3Five on Sky Sport for 2021.
So a strong possibility, a strong chance, Brendan, that there will be one new side in the for a first timer, so to speak, in the Bowls3Five televised event. That's I'm not taking anything away from the Parajacks and the Royal Oak and Hinuera, but there is a good chance of a new team.
7 other clubs, isn't there?
Yeah.
They're trying to get in for the first time, so you'd think the odds are that at least one of them would make it through. Although Royal Oak, Hinuera and the Parajacks all have the benefit of having played the competition before. They know what's needed. The Parajacks have made a good start. They have beaten the Hinuera Heats in their opening round game. And this section 2.
Maria Smith playing with weight. I really think 2 down doesn't really. Of course, this is the power play for Timaru. So we're at 7-6.
No, it's not the power play. The power play was the previous end.
Yeah, so I thought. Just had a senior moment. It's been taken off the board now. That's fine. So trying to set this other bowl was Sandra Cleland. Needed more weight now. We'll just see what happens here, Brendan. But here's an opportunity because points, everything comes into it here. See what happens. But to me, there's a big shot on here. if Maria Smith doesn't go near the head or falters under the head. How's the weight going to be? This looks a better bowl from Smith. No, it's not now. So there's a chance here, Brendan, to play with a lot of weight between the blue and the pink bowl. There's Neville Hill bowl sitting there on the edge of that ring. You play there with a lot of weight. You can move that bowl completely out of the head. The bowl of the Sandra Cleland's bowl would remain, and they got a chance of picking 5 up,
which would, of course, level the second set, and we would be going to a tiebreaker end. So that's why Sandra Cleland has made her way to the head in discussions there with Tony Marshall. And I think Tony Marshall was pointing out just what you've mentioned. There is an opportunity. It's not an easy opportunity
certainly
by any
not.
stretch of the imagination, but there is
make contact,
a possibility.
They can make contact and move that Neville Hill bowl outside the ring. That will bring all those other bowls into count. As when you have a look at the camera at the moment, you'll see if that bowl goes out of the ring, then all those other Timaru Town and Country bowls, along with Sandra Cleland's bowls, would in fact all count. But got to play with a lot of weight and confidence. And I don't think that's enough weight.
Yeah, it looks narrow. It's not going to change the situation here. Shake hands time. That is the opening round game in Section 2 completed between Auckland Bowling Club and Timaru Town and Country. And it is the oldest bowling club in the Southern Hemisphere, Auckland, that have come out on top. A drawn first set, but they have taken the second set to post an opening round victory, just as the Parajacks have done likewise in their game over Henuera. They won in straight sets, Auckland winning 1-2-0 to post an opening round victory. I'll leave you in the hands of Kevin Hickland as I make my way greenside to catch up with the winning skip.
Yeah, well, what we saw there, Brenton, in round one was really, it came down to a one-end game where on the third end of the second set, where Auckland were able to take advantage of their power play and score the 2 shots, which of course ultimately is 4, and that took them from 2 apiece to a 6-2 lead, and just gave the Auckland club that great start of the second set after drawing the first set 3-all. So we've seen, as Brendan said, the Parajacks in this section as well. The Parajacks have defeated Henuera, and the other games which have been played as well, like still underway out there, is Nelson, the Nelson side playing Takapuna, and also we had the Hawke's Bay side up against Royal Oak of Auckland. But Brenton, in but a moment, will have Maria Smith with him, the skip of the Auckland side, who have won round one, and always good to get a win on first round. So I'll pass you over now to Brendan van Nistelrooy and Maria Smith.
I do indeed have Maria Smith with me. Congratulations, Maria. The skip of the Auckland Bowling Club has posted an opening round victory here at the Bowls3Five Interclub Finals. Shows how important the power play is, isn't it? You guys capitalised and scored on their power play, and that was the match.
Yes, it was. It's pretty hard to do, but I just trust the other two.
You came up with some pretty big bowls yourself, though, over that period. Bit of fortune went your way first couple of ends, but then on that power play, you really capitalised. What was the difference there?
Well, I suppose just believe in your own bowls, that it can get there, and making sure that the team actually do their role is all I can say.
With this format, obviously, every win so important. How does this set you up for trying to get one of those top 2 spots?
Well, coming into it, I think it was just pot luck, and then really we started off badly, and then we progressed again, and then to get here, it's an achievement for me. I don't know about Neville.
Well, congratulations on that win, Maria, and we look forward to seeing more of the Auckland Bowling Club over the weekend.
Oh, I hope so too. Thank you so much.
It's Maria Smith, skip of the Auckland Bowling Club, who have posted an opening round victory here at the Bowls3Five Interclub finals at the Nainai Bowling Club in Lower Hutt. That completes our opening round coverage. Make sure you join us after 2 o'clock when we'll have second round action here from Nainai.
Today we're making new friends. We're building a community. And we're still doing all the things we love. We're getting the most out of every day. One day we'll rest, but not today.